everyone, and welcome back to the Christian Channel. My name is Claire McCallan, and I am blessed to be joined today by Penelope Ann Miller and Dennis Quaid to talk about their new film, REAGAN. Hi, guys. How are you? You both look wonderful. How's it going today?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah.
We've had a few of these, but
these days are no joke.
We luckily give each other energy, so that helps.
Well, that kind of
and the reaction of the movie is really good, so
yeah,
that helps.
It's been very positive.
Energy is contagious, which is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. You have the responsibility and honor to be portraying one of the most iconic American couples of all time. What have you learned from portraying this beautiful American love story?
Well, Ronald Reagan, he was my favorite president. And it was, I did say yes at the beginning, but I did say no because I didn't want to do it
obviously you didn't say
impersonation.
No. You're in the movie.
That's right. I didn't want to do it impersonation. I felt an obligation to really play it from his point of view. And that's so a lot of research and went to the Reagan Ranch, which is not open to the public, and I could really feel him there.
It's really preserved. They haven't changed any of their furniture. Their clothes are in their closets. Their twin beds were tied together. It was by little...
like zip ties.
Zip ties.
That was their king size bed.
Yes.
But to tell you the truth, I was a little concerned too, just starting out, like as I delve into Reagan, am I going to get a bubble burst about, this man that I admired? And no, I didn't. I have so much more respect for him even now. He lived his life on principles, Christian principles, and principles that this country is based on. And he was a Democrat. He was also a Republican later in his life. And his life has a lot to say to us here today.
Well, I think too, just to feed off that, we get second chances, and he had a purpose in this life. He didn't know what that was early on, and he just kept sort of manifesting and becoming, greater and greater. And I think, and really when he met Nancy, after he was already a Screen Actors Guild president, his acting career wasn't really, he was really going down, but she was by his side. And I think she knew he had a purpose, and she knew there was greatness in him. And I think that love and that support is what catapulted him to get where he was and what he became. And they were a power couple for sure, but their love story is real and it's genuine. And it was a daunting task for both of us. We were very big shoes to fill. And we didn't want to do the characterization in SNL skit of Nancy and Ronnie, which could be fun, and we could do that too.
One of the most amazing things I found out is that Reagan was not a rich man.
They were a very modest couple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That Reagan Ranch, the house is 1,100 square feet.
Yeah.
And it was about public service with him, and about something that was inside rather than away to the that part of the American dream where it's a cash payoff or whatever. He was the real deal.
Yeah, it wasn't a power hungry quest. I really think he felt he was there to serve, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
It was a pure love for his country and his lady.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, his lady, and then there was the Cold War, which was for those who weren't, hadn't lived through those times, it was a very scary place to be as a kid. I was, we had drills where we get under our desk because the nuclear attack. I don't know what good getting on your desk was going to be.
Just get crushed. I just remember that for earthquakes.
But most people thought we were going to wind up in a nuclear war, and it became. It took somebody like Ronald Reagan, who was a Cold Warrior, and at the same time had a Christian heart that was able to reach out and get this done for all of us.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for your time and for this film.
Thank you.
Great job. Stay strong. All right, Mr. Voight, we just introduced ourselves, but I have to tell you something. I know something you don't know, which is that we met 12 years ago on the Reagan Ranch when I was in high school.
Wow.
There's no way you would remember me. I was with a horde of teenagers, but the Young Americans for Freedom Foundation had brought a group of us out to get to see the Western White House.
You saw at the ranch.
I went
and
everywhere.
I remember that group that went by.
It was unbelievable. And you were there. I will have my editors splice it in, but there's a picture of us from 12 years ago. I'm a teenager.
Great.
And didn't it work out for both of us? Look, you made a movie about him. I'm here.
Yes.
We did it.
That's great, yeah.
You, above all people, have really been walking with Reagan in some way for a really long time with your involvement with Young Americans for Freedom and the Western White House. What does it mean to you to get to be part of bringing his story to the big screen like this?
I tell you, it's when I started out, the reason why I got involved is, of course, I thought it was a good story, and if we could do it well, it would be a nice gift, for the young people, because they don't have much that's giving them really good food, mental food. So let's tell the story of Ronald Reagan. And then I thought I could do the character. I thought, I think I can do that. It's a tricky little thing they have to do that with that thing. And I could probably be the one to solve some of it,
I mean, how fun is that? For our audience at home that are dying to see the movie, but they haven't seen it yet, you play the KGB agent that was assigned to Ronald Reagan. And that's just so funny in such a tongue-in-cheek way, because you truly are such a supporter of the man and his legacy.
Right, yeah.
But you do get the sense by the end that the KGB agent, after a long time of studying Mr. Reagan, he almost admires him.
Well, he does admire him. And he is, in his last moment, he's saying thank you in some way. I don't know if that comes through. I'm going to have to see the film tomorrow and see if they got that right. But my intention was, he said, he explains. He said the Soviet Union took God out of the picture, and so and so, and Ronald, the Crusader, gave it back to them.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so he was a fan of his by the time, and he knew who the man was, and he was grateful for the dismissal of the tyranny,
Well, in the same way that your character expresses gratitude to the Crusader, I just want to finish this by thanking you. I mean, whether you realize it or not, you've been sort of a mile marker in my life when I'm a teenager. I think that was my first time on a plane by myself, getting to go and learn all about this. And now here we are.
Isn't that nice? That's great.
There's such symmetry when you walk with God.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much for everything and for this film.
Wasn't it beautiful to see the Reagan Ranch and see the humble little place that he had, and see, it's almost like they were there, still living there. It looked like they hadn't, they were still in that little house and could answer the phone, if you called them.
And Dennis said the same thing about the president's humility. But the thing that I remember getting from it at such an impressionable age as a teenager, you could feel their love still in the house for each other.
Oh, yes.
And
good for you.
Their romance. And
that's
really
what I love. And the
for
film
me.
is very beautiful about their romance. That's what I think they both did a beautiful job to express that relationship very beautifully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Great.
Hey everyone, Claire McCallan here with the Christian Channel. We are here at the Chinese Theater, the iconic theater here in Hollywood on the Reagan red carpet to get to chat with all of the stars of this great new film out August 30th. Let's hear what they have to say of what they think Ronald Reagan would want Americans to know now.
I was wondering which of Ronald Reagan's core values you hope to see this next generation of young Americans adopt for their own lives.
Passion and honesty.
Thank you very much.
And my quick question for you, same question I'm asking everybody, is which of Ronald Reagan's values would you like to see this next generation of Americans take on for themselves?
He was just a really, really good person. He basically saw the good in people and thought, you know what, people can, give people the opportunity. They can make amazing lives for themselves, and the government can screw everything up.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
All right, so I'm here with political commentator Steve Hilton. And Steve, I was just wondering, which of Reagan's qualities and values do you hope the American people continue to hold on in this modern year?
So for me, the number one is optimism. Optimism about America. That's what he really represented. And I think that's what we want to see. There's so many things going wrong, but he always had this belief that America would overcome anything, any problem, whether that's domestic or international, and triumph because of the values that we all believe in. So that sense of optimism, I think that's what really, even back in the day when I was in England, watching from afar, that was what was amazing about Reagan, that sense of positive vision about the future and that belief in America and the optimism that goes with that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Gerard Hall, the executive producer of the film, and I just want to ask you, what do you hope Americans decide to preserve from Ronald Reagan's legacy?
Wow, what a question. Well, number one is moral clarity, right? He saw things just black and white, right and wrong, and that drove him. So I'm very excited about that. Also, from that age, the idea that the other side of the aisle doesn't necessarily have to be the enemy, right? And so that bridging, to me, one of the most poignant moments in the movie is when Tip O'Neill and Reagan are meeting and talking about, hey, we're just, at the end of the day, we're just two Irishmen having a beer, although they're on two very different sides of the aisle. So the idea that we're in a modern world where we have people believing that the other side wins, it's the end of democracy on either side, like, that seems ridiculous. And so I'm encouraged by that message. So.
Thank you. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
All right. So my question for the evening for everybody is, which of Ronald Reagan's values do you want to see the next generations adopt as their own?
Love. Love of people, love of family, love of country, love of God. That was Reagan's secret. And that's what this movie is all about. And that was the fight of his life. And that's what it was about.
Amen. And you really see that in a special way with the way that he loves his wife, huh? I mean,
Absolutely. I'm a happily married guy. I don't write love letters every day. That guy wrote love letters every single day for their entire marriage. So, yeah.
well, and Penelope and Dennis really do an incredible job portraying that love. They make it come to life.
Unbelievable. Making this movie was like watching the two of them come back to life. It really was. And they just crush it. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for your message of love.
Thank you.
All right, so I am now blessed to be here with the producer of the film, Mark Joseph. Mark, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked everybody else, okay? Out of all of President Reagan's wonderful values, which are the ones that you hope that the next generation adopt for themselves?
That's a great question. I think he always had a really good self-deprecating sense of humor. He didn't take himself too seriously. And that's something we can all learn from, is to be humble and not take ourselves too seriously.
Absolutely. In a lot of ways, everybody here owes you a lot of gratitude that we get to be here today. Who is someone who you want to thank who made it possible for you to be here today?
Well, my mother got to join us today. She's 95 years old, and she came in her wheelchair. So I'm so thankful for her. And one of the themes of the movie is that how powerful our mothers are in our lives. And Reagan's mother was a very powerful person in his life. And a lot of us feel the same way about our mothers.
Amen. Thank you so much, and congratulations, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Yep, of course.
Great.
All right, so I've got one question.
What's up?
Which of President Reagan's values do you want to see this next generation, maybe your generation, adopt for themselves?
Oh, I think that working hard. I think that's the value they should take. Yeah.
Do you think enough young people are working hard?
I think it just depends on the person. I think every generation has its flaws, and I think that everyone could work a little hard.
I'm excited about your generation. I think you guys are doing a great job, and we're happy to have you here today.
Totally agree. Thank you.
I'm here with about half, maybe, of the lovely Henry family, and what I wanted to ask, Nancy and Ronald has such a beautiful faith-based love story, and so do you. What inspirations do you draw from their story, and what advice do you have for our young people of faith looking to find love at home?
Wow, thank you. Well, I was just going to say, I think they're just the perfect role models just of the family first. Ronald was just such a great role model, and he worked so hard, but at the end of the day, he was just still a family man, always came home to his family, and that's what this man does every day. He works so hard, but he's always husband first and father first, and, they share that in common, and it makes me really proud of him today.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that. I think knowing that love is a choice, it's something that you choose each and every day, that even when the fireworks fade or when the honeymoon phase is over, it's a continual choice. You have to know the person that you're getting to know, you're going to start dating or anything like that. It's a choice. It's not just a feeling. So that was a a big thing for me that, feelings won't always be there. So you got to really know who you're going to be with and know that that's the person that you're going to want to spend the rest of your life with. So I was very blessed that I married up.
Amen. That is awesome. And I would be never forgiving myself if I didn't ask. You have some more big projects coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a directorial project coming up?
Yes. I have Monster Summer coming up that I had the privilege of directing. It stars Mel Gibson, Mason Thames, and lots of others. And it's a fun, kind of Goonies-esque family film for the holidays around Halloween. It comes out October 4th nationwide. So please check it out as a worry-free, spooky family adventure that hopefully you will all go see.
Awesome. Mom approved also.
Mom approved. Scare not scar, right?
Exactly.
Scare not scar. Scare not scar.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Got you. So first of all, I am wondering which of Reagan's core values you hope to see young people adopt for themselves now?
As a child,
Well, I think he was a man of a lot of morals and principles. I think that's how he was raised from his religious upbringing, but his mother, who really instilled that in him. And I think that was really important to him. And I think he carried that with him throughout his marriage with Nancy and his political career. And I think that's those principles and those morals and those ethics are so important. I think it's so important now, too. I mean, they are always important. But I think to live by that and to live your life in honor and feel good about the choices that you make is so important.
Absolutely. And in a similar vein, unfortunately, young men and women are more disenfranchised from each other than ever. We hear so many people saying how hard it is to date and to find love in the 21st century. What do you think the young people can learn from Nancy and Ronald's love story?
Well, I mean, there is such a disconnect now with social media and everybody on their phones and TikToks that nobody knows how to interact and communicate. Reagan was considered the great communicator. And also his appreciation and his love for Nancy was so beautiful. And I hope there's a takeaway in this film where they see how much he loved her and adored her, and vice versa, of course. They were such a support system to each other. And I think it's so important because they were able to talk to each other and trust each other and believe in each other. And I think we have to keep talking to each other. We have to keep communicating and showing our appreciation. I mean, he wrote her love notes every day. It was such a beautiful thing. And she published the book "I Love You, Ronnie," and I think that's a testament to their love and their relationship, but also as an example. And I think people need to do that more often. We need to reach out and we need to show our love and appreciation.
Thank you so much. So congratulations on everything. Enjoy your night, okay? All right, so I'm here with director Sean McNamara. Sean, I've got two questions for you. First of all, out of all of Reagan's values, which are the ones that you hope the next generation adopts and bring into this election year?
Well, I mean, I think Ronald Reagan, he was a man of faith. And I just think whatever your faith is, whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, you just got to look for, there's more to life than what's here. And I think that's what he would have wanted too.
That's awesome. And we're all here today because of what you did. So I know we all want to thank you. Is there anyone that you want to thank from bringing you here and making it possible for you to have directed this film?
Well, I just want to thank Ronald Reagan. My first job in the business was plugging in microphones at his inauguration. And to think 40 years later I'd be directing a movie about the 40th president is pretty extraordinary.
Awesome. A lot of people would say that Reagan's story is really improbable, from childhood to actor to politician. What would you say?
Improbable? Oh, I think all of our stories kind of improbable. Isn't that where we are? Reagan was, it was on a special journey, I think, right from the very beginning. And, we all don't know what our paths are. We may have something else in mind, but God may have a different purpose for us. And it's for us to recognize that. And you got to be careful what you ask God for, because he might give it to you. And when he does, he gives it to you in a way that no, not like that. But that's the way life is.
Was there anything that you learned about him that surprised you?
That he wasn't a rich man. Went up to the Reagan Ranch. He's a very humble man, actually. The house up there was 1,100 square feet. We were talking about the Western White House. It had a king-size bed, but it was two single beds that were zip-tied together.
What was that?
He loved simple things, and he came along at the perfect time for America.
The last thing I want to ask you is about your involvement with honoring our fallen, like the gala that you're performing at. What can you tell us
About the what?
The honoring our fallen and the gala that you're performing at. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I think you're talking about Laura Herzog, who this lady, she goes out to the planes, who coming in with a dead veteran, a soldier that's coming back, is deceased and killed in action, and she meets these planes, and she serves as a conduit of support for the family. You know, when someone dies like this, a family member, it's devastating, and don't even know what the protocol, the procedure is for all that. And she comes in and just lifts people up, and I don't know how she does it, but she's a smaller organization, but they give a gala every year, and I love to be a part of it.
Thank you, guys.